coming to you from the 53rd Annual American Bridge Teachers Association Seminar and Convention at New Orleans on Thursday, July 22nd, 2010, presenting Larry Cohen with My Pet Peeves.
If you think of any well-known tournament, there's a good chance that Larry Cohen has won it. Everything from the Vanderbilt, the Spin Gold, the Reisinger, Life Master Pairs, Blue Ribbon Pairs, Cavendish, and many more, and sometimes more than once. He's played bridge in a dozen different countries. He's won many prestigious awards. Retiring last year with 25,000 master points, Larry is the best-selling author of To Bid or Not to Bid, which was translated into 6 different languages and sold over 80,000 copies. He also wrote its sequel, Following the Law. He's the columnist for The Real Deal and It's Your Call in the ACBL Bulletin. For those of you who read the Master Solvers portion column in the Bridge World magazine, Larry's the director of this. He's the author of magazine articles, the CD entitled Play Bridge with Larry, and other instructional software. He's a worldwide lecturer on land and sea, and his latest book is entitled My Favorite 52. He was born in New York City, and he began learning bridge at age 6 from his grandparents. He started playing duplicate bridge at the age of 14, and he began playing in tournaments a year later. Was a life master at age 17. He won his first national bridge tournament at 22 years old, and he's only 10 years older now. Besides bridge, Larry loves golf.
Don't say the part about the Yankees, I'll get in trouble.
Oh, I won't. He's a computer programmer and a former professional options trader. He now lives in Boca Raton, Florida with his wife Maria, and we love to have Larry back as a guest speaker and welcome him today.
Thank you, George. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just caught the tail end of what Jerry was saying. He left. I was going to pay him a compliment. But his topic particularly interested me, 2/1, because in my opinion, 10 years from now, that's going to be the new that's going to be standard. That's the way I think it should be anyway, is that it's going to be like there used to be strong twos and now everyone plays weak twos. I think and hope that in 10 years, if you don't play 2/1, that you just don't play. I mean, everyone should be playing it, and I think teaching it. And sure, there's a little bit of growing pains with it, but I heard Jerry mention at the end that's what the market wants, and it's a good thing. I think everyone should just learn it. If I were to teach beginners, I would start with 2/1 is 13 points. At a spade, 2 diamonds is 13 points, because for me, that's much easier for anyone to know you have an opening bid, opposite an opening bid, and you belong in game. And the notion that 1 spade, 2 diamonds is 10 points, I don't know why. Yeah, I would have had to be around 70, 80 years ago, but why 10 points? I mean, 13 opposite 10 is 23, is no man's land. So I don't see the point of teaching people 1 spade, 2 diamonds is 10 points, and you don't know if you're going to game and what's forcing. For me, that's harder than 2/1. So I hope all of you will start this trend so that it becomes standard someday. I think it's even beginners. I would teach it to a dead beginner. Isn't it easier for a beginner? 1 spade. Well, of course no one likes to change, but for me, 1 spade, 2 clubs, you say, okay, that's clubs, and you're going to game. For a beginner, that's much easier than 1 spade, 2 clubs. Well, you might get to game. What? 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades. Can you pass it? 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades. 2 no. Can you pass? To me, that's too hard to teach. 1 spade, 2 clubs. Nobody can pass until you're in game. To me, that's easier. In fact, it's been so long since I played standard that I don't even know if I sat down with one of you and you told me standard, and it went 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 hearts, 2 no, and you said, is that forcing? And now if I bid 3 hearts, is that forcing? I'd have to get out my Gorin 1940 book and look it up. So to me, I just hope that everyone will eventually, I see Judy nodding back there. Does that mean you agree with me? I don't know. Good. Okay. That's what I would like to see. That's not what I intend to talk about today, but yeah. There's questions before I even start? Go ahead. Yeah. Well, the 2/1 part, and by the way, people always ask me, I'm sure they always ask you, Larry, do you like 1 no forcing? Well, the 1 no is the pain in the neck. Let's face it. The fact that 1 spade, 1 no can now be up to 12 points, that's a pain in the neck, and that's hard to teach, and unfortunately, that's part of the whole package. But the 2/, well, you could leave it out, or you could get to it later, but, that's the problem. When you have 11 or 12 points, and your Barnum's a spade, what do you do? So, yeah. Oh, what's your question?
My question was, have you tried teaching, do you teach beginners?
I never teach beginners, but no, I understand. I don't teach beginners, and I never have taught someone, well, I've taught my wife, but honestly, when I went to teach her, I told her 1 spade, 2 clubs is 13 points. I just don't want to teach her. It's 11 points. To me, it was easier for her.
What do you think that those of us who do teach beginners are doing with our students once they get out of class? Where are they going to play, and how will they adapt to what's out there? Because the majority of my students are taking bridge because they want to play with their friends who already play bridge, and most of those aren't even playing.
Well, I understand that question, and that's, of course, a problem. But what would you have done in 1962 if you were teaching a beginner, well, maybe 1970, if you were teaching a beginner, and she said, all my friends are playing the strong 2. And if they said to you, well, don't teach me weak 2, because all my friends play strong 2. I mean, at some point, this has got to change. And okay, but I'm just saying that's what I think 2/1 is going to be standard. And I think it's, now I admit, I don't teach ranked beginners. I know a lot of you do, and it takes a lot of patience. I have all the admiration in the world for you. Okay? However, I think this is the time to start going that direction. And if friends don't play it, they'll have to learn it. Yeah, Judy?
I was going to say, when we first started teaching, and I'm sure everybody else is in the same position, the whole debate was limit raises. Okay? There was a whole huge discussion about how do we switch from 1 spade, 3 spade forcing to 1 spade, 3 spade invitational when their friends are all playing forcing. The ABTA was part of this whole discussion, and what they put out in the club series. And, right now, I don't think you can find a bridge teaching book that teaches 1 spade, 3 spade.
Exactly. Or how about 1 no 16 to 18? What if I said to you and I know some of you still teach that, okay, what if I said to you 5 years ago, okay, to start teaching 15 to 17, because that's what everyone's playing, and you said to me, oh, but my students and their friends learn 16 to 18. When are we going to change? I mean, what can I say? If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I didn't even intend to talk about this, but, but my hope/goal that is in 10 years, 2/1 will be like week 2 bids, and I think that's the way it should go. But if you feel your beginners don't want it or will look at you funny, then of course don't teach it to them. Okay, let me get to what I intended to talk about if we have any time left. And it says pet peeves, and the first item on here is the